How's it going, everyone? I want to take a look at two trades this week that I was able to capture 100% return on, both of them being SPY and both of them being pennant chart patterns. The first one we're going to look at here is on the 5-minute chart, and the second one we'll look at is on the 1-minute chart. So one was more of a scalp setup, where this one here on the 5-minute chart was more of a day trade. I want to talk about the good and the bad with both of these. And you say, how is it bad? You got 100% return. Well, as traders, we make mistakes. And here, this was actually Monday. And as you can see here, November 5th, which was Tuesday, I took next day expiration contracts instead of on day expirations, which is what I always trade in the morning session, anyhow. And it was still 100% return using next days. That just goes to show how quick this move was. Volume has a lot to play with option contracts moving that well as also. And this move here would have been a 2 to 3, potentially 300% return if I would have been using the correct contracts. So I did make a mistake, but was still able to capture this amazing move here. So let's take a look. Coming into the day, I was looking for a short setup, and I had already marked up here this this resistance level. We had rejections and pre-market data and then opening. So after we rejected here, I drew our box in, and I was looking to go to short SPY with puts. And then we start bouncing up and down. I realize we're forming a pennant. So I'm looking at my indicators. I'm already wanting to go short. And then my indicators gave me some extra confidence in that short setup, because a pennant pattern can break out either direction. It can break out to the upside or to the downside. You don't really know. Kind of like a symmetric triangle. It could go either way. So my indicators, what they were telling me was the MACD had the potential for a sell signal cross to set up and take place, which it did. The RSI was here in the middle of the 70 and the 30, kind of the neutral level. We had room to fill to the upside before we're considered overbought, and we still had room to come down quite a bit more before being considered oversold. So we have room to come down. We're up in the upper zone of the MACD, so that's where you ideally want to see your sell signal MACD cross take place. So there's potential for that to set up. And then also, if you look down here at the TTM, buyers had already had momentum for quite a bit of time, and we were starting to get this rounded top. And then these dark blue bars, meaning buying momentum is leaving the market. So all the indicators are looking good for buyers to step down here and sellers to take control, at least momentarily. And we had a resistance level. We were rejecting at the 200 EMA across here, and a chart pattern that could potentially break out the way you want it to. So I took a short setup. I only took a couple contracts. I went very light this week altogether, coming off of a little bit of a choppy market, and so sizing down appropriately leading into elections. Nonetheless, this was still a great move that was captured. So that is the first example of a pennant chart pattern that I captured 100% return on earlier in the week. Now let's look at the second example. You'll see a lot of similarities here. All right. Pennant chart pattern, this time on SPY's 1-minute chart. You can also see that down here in the bottom left corner. All right. Look at the chart pattern again. All right. We were making higher highs, so it was looking somewhat bullish here. But then we get this massive drop at open. All right, I don't trade the open, so I waited on data to present itself, and I noticed another pennant pattern early in the day. This was on Wednesday, and the market had obviously moved up a lot after the election on Tuesday. It was a massive gap up. I wanted to see some sort of a pullback and then look for a long opportunity. So I also was able to catch that pullback. So the pennant pattern set up, I used my indicators to help me determine which direction I think we were going to go. And I entered here on the break of the lower trend line of the pattern and caught this massive move down. The last setup was the 5-minute chart. So that one took, 25 minutes or so to play out. This one was about, I think, 8 minutes. Yeah, 7 or 8 candles. So this was a very quick trade and was still able to capture 100% return in that short period of time. Indicators that help me to go short, same thing here on the RSI. We were in that neutral, that middle zone in between 70 and 30, not up in the overbought, not down in the oversold. So there was room to come down. And then the MACD was kind of at the neutral level. We weren't in the upper zone. That's the most ideal place to see a bearish cross, but it didn't happen, in the bottom part of the zone. So we get that bearish, the blue cuts down through the orange, get that sell signal MACD cross. And then this is what was interesting for all of pre-market and the opening. There wasn't a large shift to the upside or downside as far as momentum. This is what you would call the market squeezing. It's the buyers and sellers are disagreeing. They're both fighting pretty hard to drive price in one direction. So I was anticipating a big move to come out of this, and that's exactly what we got. And as you can see, the selling momentum, the sellers won that battle. And that's why we had such a large move and so quickly was that squeeze. So this is the second one, and you can see 100% return. Both of these chart patterns were SPY, just different time frames. And again, I wanted to show you this one's the 5-minute chart. So I entered here thinking we were originally breaking to the downside, had to stay through this little bit where we spiked back up into that resistance zone. That was the only point of the trade I was actually in the negative, and then was able to hold and catch this move down. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, roughly a 40-minute trade to capture the 100% return on this one. Again, that would have been 200 to 300% return, a little bit more worth the wait if I would have taken the appropriate contracts. So hope all that was helpful. These chart patterns are, they're my bread and butter. This is all I trade for the most part. So if you need any help spotting them, learning how to trade them, which directions, certain ones historically or probability wise, which direction they break out to, feel free to reach out to me in the comment section or on any of my socials. I'd love to give my advice. I'm not an expert. I'm always learning, but I'm always willing to help those that are new to this. So hope you enjoyed my strategies. Hope you enjoyed the indicator analysis, and I look forward to speaking with you on the next video. See y'all later.